Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, what is poppin', lockin', and what is dropping? Welcome everyone back to the video, and let me wish every single one of you a happy new year, as it is the beginning of 2026. I want to explain how I lost 7.4 pounds in the month of December, specifically December of 2025. There's the simple scientific way of how everyone loses weight, which happens to be calories in and calories out. Simple as that. Can people emotionally do that? The one thing I have learned within this whole entire month and from previous fitness journeys from the past, because I have lost a good amount of weight within the past. I started recording my first journey beginning of 2025. I've been on a couple journeys before that. I think in like high school I lost about 50 to 60 pounds as well. Two things that I've learned to help with this journey and how it's going to help me succeed in the future. And I'm going to incorporate these two things versus what I haven't done in the past. And that, my friends, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, discipline and patience. Yes, it's not a GLP-1. Yes, it's not a keto diet. Yes, it's not eating 1,100 calories a day. I get that. It's two things that, well, you can kind of take them to everyday activities. The same thing applies when it comes to weight loss. At least that's what I've picked up. Now, am I a weight loss expert? No. Am I a fitness coach? No. I'm just a dude on YouTube telling you guys how I personally lost the weight. So it's discipline and it's patience. Although you kind of need discipline for patience. So the first thing, how I'm describing discipline. So we'll take kind of the 4 examples of things to do during your weight loss. That's diet, exercise, hydration, and the fourth one, I'll kind of put this as an optional thing. You don't have to do this to lose weight. At least that's what I've picked up because I've never really taken any of these until now, but supplementation. So we'll kind of take an example of discipline when it comes to dieting. So you're grocery shopping along, you go to your Walmart, your Kroger, Food Lion, Whole Foods if you're bougie. You go along the outer aisles. That's typically where grocery stores stole their Whole Foods. So you go along those aisles, but then you kind of look around and be like, oh, okay, those Doritos are looking kind of tasty. I haven't had some Cool Ranch in a minute. So you kind of go into those middle aisles, or as our fitness community says, the forbidden aisles. You really want to try to avoid those. But that's an example of bad discipline. Even just going into the aisles, it's bad discipline itself. Because that thought process you're trying to avoid, well, guess what? You're thinking about it. What's even worse is picking up the Doritos, putting them in your cart, checking them out, taking them home, and eating the entire bag right after. Because I've done that. Bad discipline with dieting can take effect in that. But there's also different examples, like you meal prep for the week. So I do 6-day meal preps, right? So I leave an extra day just in case something happens. And you get to the 4th day and you're looking at your chicken, broccoli, and rice. And you're like, oh man, I am so sick of this. And I am a great example of this because I cannot stand oatmeal. I could do oatmeal for like 2 or 3 days. But after that, it's over for me. Like, I cannot do oatmeal. Right, Jax? That's where kind of the discipline needs to come in and be like, just let's get this oatmeal done and over with, man. Because you chose oatmeal to be your meal prep. Let's stick to it. You can obviously change it up halfway through and be like, okay, maybe I don't do oatmeal. Let's, change it in with eggs or something. That's good discipline because rather than taking that and making it to a negative, instead you kind of turn it into a positive when it affects your dieting. But now let's kind of get into exercise, with discipline impacts with exercise. So you go to the gym, and you have a schedule for your gym, right? You do a mile run, and I'll kind of give my gym schedule for an example. So I do a mile run before my exercises, and then I have my push, pull, or leg day. Or there's 2 days where I do an upper body and a lower body. But I still do my mile run. Now, it doesn't have to be a mile straight because I can't do a mile straight yet, but that's kind of where I'm going towards. So you get on the treadmill, and you run about 0.3 miles, and you walk about 0.4. But rather than trying to continue to run to burn more of those calories, you're like, you know what? I'm not feeling this today. And then you cut off the treadmill at 0.4 miles. That's an example of bad discipline. Okay. Another example is when you're trying to hit PRs or you want to go and kind of increase your weight reps a little bit more. but you're kind of feeling a little sore, not sore, but you're feeling a little tired. Because if you're feeling sore, that's a whole different situation. So then you're feeling a bit tired, right? You're like, I don't know, maybe I'll just knock out like 10 of these rather than do my 15. Bad discipline. Bad discipline. Maybe something to kind of counteract that would be, oh, I'm getting tired after this. Let me maybe decrease the weight, increase the reps. So that way you're kind of not giving up, but you're fixing. So that's an example of, following good discipline. And then you come to hydration, right? Okay, so hydration is pretty simple. Consume amount of water that you want to consume. Most people say like a gallon a day. My thing's about 64 ounces. I think I'm pretty satisfied with 64 ounces. But of course, as more goes on, I'm going to increase it. But a good example of this is rather than choosing to drink a bottle of water for lunch, you instead try to get a can of Sprite. That's bad discipline. You shouldn't have picked up the Sprite in the first place. Those kind of things I'm learning throughout the journey, and it's really helping. And then that's kind of where the patience comes into this. Weight loss shouldn't be something you do extremely quick. And if you do, it's good. The speed that you lose the weight is the speed you get it back. And I've learned that on my first journey too. Now, did I gain back to my 240 pounds that I was before? No. But I did start my journey earlier this year with being 207 pounds. I've started this journey a pound heavier than I did on my last journey. So, but I was getting there. But think about it. It was about the same amount of time. When I started in January to about May, that was about 6 months. And then from May to the late November, again, that's another about 6 months. The speed you lose the weight seems to be the speed that you gain it back. So that's why all those dieting, exercising, hydration, and so forth, you have to be patient with it. And the best way to learn the patience from it is don't think about waking up tomorrow and being like, I'm going to get a six pack. My biceps are going to be humongo. It's going to be like I stuffed cantaloupes in there. No. The best thing to do is to focus on very small goals. And good examples of that is actually just going to the gym or actually looking forward to planning out your meals. Make it a hobby and not so much of a chore. And you vision that, your weight loss journey or your fitness journey or whatever journey you're going on is going to be successful. Just don't think about the end goal tomorrow. Think about your end goal when you plan your end goal being. And then picking those up, it's actually really helped me kind of guide that. And I think that's one of the biggest reasons why I've lost so much weight in December, which by the way is 7.4 pounds, which I said earlier, but figured I'd remind because we're, what is this, like 11 minutes in the video now? Or whatever time this is. Those two things have really helped me try to achieve what I am looking for in a weight loss journey. Now, I know a lot of people and how society works is everyone wants results now. And I get it. I want results now. I want my man titties to disappear tomorrow. But unfortunately, how the body works, honestly, most of the time how life works, everything takes time. And there's a story, the hare and the tortoise. The tortoise ends up winning the race over the hare. There's a saying, slow and steady wins the race. And I think for weight loss, that's a pretty good thing to put in there. Now, what I mean by this, don't purposefully slow it down till you're losing a quarter pound a week, right? Unless that's the goal that you want. But you kind of have to make it more ideal. I've set my setup to at least 1 to 2 pounds a week. Just be very thoughtful on this process too. I mean, weight loss, it's just like anything else you're really interested in. You gotta have to research how to do it. You have to practice it. You have to get going with it. If you want to learn how to play guitar, you're gonna have to learn how to play the guitar. Rather, it's going to a tutor or self-teaching. Same thing goes with weight loss or fitness. You need a fitness instructor, or you could self-research and do it yourself. That's what I'm doing. Generally because I can't afford a fitness coach right now. But there's nothing wrong with asking for help. There's really not. And the best way to learn is by example. So if you go to the professionals that know what they're doing, they're going to help teach you a lot. So those are kind of the two things that helped me lose 7.4 pounds in December. It's all about research though, at the end of the day too. So maybe the third thing to include in here is the research, because if you don't really know what you're doing, then you're not really going to get the goals that you need. So ask a friend, research on YouTube, or hire a coach. I'm sure, ask the friend that knows what they're doing, of course. I'm sure that there's people out there that are going to help you. The gym community is a really good community. Everyone's super helpful with each other, because at the end of the day, everyone wants the same goals as to look good, lift heavy, run for a distance. We all want the same or similar goals at the end of the day. So keep that in mind when you guys are starting your journeys. I want to welcome every single one of you to my journey, as I plan on getting to 175 pounds myself by at least before the end of 2026. That's my goal, and also lose body fat, gain muscle, just like everyone else wants. I want to record this to help motivate every single one of you out there who want to lose the weight yourselves, or if you want to start gaining muscle, or just be fit in general. Let's all stick together, and if you guys are willing to follow me in this journey as well, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, share, comment positive or negative things. It's the internet. It's what we're gonna get. So again, everything here is basically just things I've learned from my previous journeys, especially the one that I started in November 30th of 2025. Ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube world, thank you so much for tuning into the video, and I hope every single one of you have a wonderful rest of your day and a very happy new year. Stay disciplined and stay focused.